we've been talking about this Astros scandal. What is your opinion on this with all the news that's coming out every single day now? It seems like every day something else is breaking about this story.
I mean, I still have the same opinion that I did last week. I think the Astros, what they did is not right. It's not good for the game, but you have to think that every team is doing something similar to this. And a guy that George and I interviewed for our show, Ryan Spader, he's a baseball writer. He's been on MLB Network before. He actually tweeted out a text from a current baseball player, and he said every team is doing something similar to this with technology, and the Astros aren't the only team doing that. And we've heard other players haven't really made a ton of comments on this. I mean, you've seen some Cleveland Indians players making comments, but you don't really see a complete uproar from the rest of the league, and I think the reason is that every team is doing something. Now, you can't strip the Astros of any championship. That just doesn't make sense to do so because you can't put a measure on how effective this is. You can't put a weight on, yes, that it caused this hit, that caused this home run. So the only thing I think is going to happen is there's going to be a fine for the Astros organization, and I don't think there's going to be that much else to happen besides the fine.
It has to be more than just a fine.
I mean, you'd think that, but the Red Sox had a scandal with Apple Watches and nothing happened. They just got a slap on the wrist.
I think this is more of substance. I think.
Is it though? You don't have any way of proving how much it helped them. And it was only during the 2017 season and not the World Series. There's no proof that they did it during the World Series either.
Well, I just think, there is proof that they did do it in the postseason because of the documentary that a Yankee fan found, John Boy Sports. You had to follow him on Twitter. He's one of the best follows out there. A good friend of the show. And he does the lip dubs. He's the one that created the whole Savages in the Box for the Yankees. If you don't follow him on Twitter or social media, I don't know what you are doing. But again, what he has been able to create, it's like a cottage industry. He's been able to do it for football, basketball, baseball. That's where he got to start, the Yankee fan, where he's able to find these little nuggets in a 3-4 hour sports, a game, and he's been able to create something that is so unique and something that's not in the market. And he found a clip of Jose Altuve leaving the steps with the TV screen underneath where leaving the field covered by towels so that the cameras don't see it. So there is proof, and that was from the postseason in 2017 documentary about the Astros winning the World Series.
I mean, it just seems like the Yankees fans just are really looking for a free World Series title at this point.
No, I'm not saying, look, if it is proven, and I would say Robert Manfred has 2 months because this has to be finished by at least the start of February. It has to be. Because let's say they do suspend players. That's going to change.
There's no players that are going to be suspended for this. I mean, there's no.
I think Adrian Hinch could be suspended for a whole season.
That's not going to happen.
I think it should.
Why? Because the Astros use technology to their advantage to do something that a bunch of teams are doing.
But you're not allowed to do it.
But everyone's doing it.
First, they didn't get caught.
First, the Astros are only doing it at home. They only did it during the 2017 season.
How do you know that?
Because it's been proven. They're only talking about the 2017 season for a reason. And if it was that effective, then why didn't they do it in the 2018 season or the 2019 season? And why didn't it allow the Astros to go 150-0?
Well, I mean,
or whatever you want to go.
We looked up the home and away splits from the 2017 postseason.
But there was only 9 games in each one.
You
can go hot and cold for 9 games.
Yeah, but that drastic. Come on now.
It can't be that drastic. Home and road splits are a different animal. You have look at the guys that play at Coors.
300-point difference.
It's the same thing at Coors Field.
I don't buy it. I think that, Nancy Newman was on the show yesterday from the Yes Network, and she said that she wants to see a suspension for 1 year of A.J. Hinch.
I would too if I was a Yankees reporter or a Yankees fan.
It's not a Yankee thing. It's not. I think it's a baseball thing.
I want to hear what George has to say on this. I think it's becoming a Yankee thing.
No, it's not.
No, I do agree. It definitely is a Yankee thing because because you guys are just complaining about how it was against you guys and that you guys could have gone to the World Series.
I'm going to cut you off, George. George.
No. Listen.
No,
at the end of the day,
At the end of the day, you still have to hit the baseball, and the Yankees failed to do so regardless. Or not, because it was a changeup. Anyways, I think if you're 29 of the 30 teams, you are really upset with the league right now. Because if, let's say, George, you're an outfielder on the Los Angeles Dodgers and you lose to the Houston Astros in 2017, are you telling me you're not going to be upset that they use a camera to their advantage to let them know what the signs were of your catcher?
No,
yes.
because they didn't do it during the World Series. And they only did it at home, and they took them to 7 games and still lost. And if that's the excuse teams are going to go with, which no players have said that publicly, that is the excuse, like, we lost because of the cameras. You have to be able to hit the baseball. You have to be able to pitch the baseball. And there's too many factors into a game that allow you for this to be measurable. You can't say the Astros used cameras, which caused them to hit this home run. The Astros used cameras, which allowed them to have a double. The cameras just make you know. And we saw in that bat, too, where John Boy broke it down and Evan Gattis got up and Evan Gattis struck out.
But still, it's so...
That shows you how hard it is. They literally showed fastball, change up, fastball, and he was still struck out because it's so hard to hit these pitches. You don't know where the changeup's going.
Well,
you
it's
don't
just
know
like
if it's a circle
steroids in
change.
sports. Like, yes, I understand steroids is not going to make you a home run king, but still, it changes the effects of the game.
But you can put a measure on steroids. You can see that Barry Bonds went from a guy who can steal bases to an absolute massive human being who doesn't steal bases and just hits bombs. You have no idea the measurable amount that this affected the Astros. Alex Bregman in the 2019 season was an MVP finalist this year. 2017, he wasn't that good. He got better and didn't need the cameras to make them better.
Well, I think, yes, there's so much. There's a phone ringing. Anyways, I don't know where that's coming from. I'm scared to answer it. I don't know. This never happens on the show. Anyways, I don't know what's happening. But maybe it's maybe they're letting me know what pitch is coming up. I think they're letting me know what pitch is coming up, and I think they're throwing me a curveball.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works, though.
Yes,
they know fastball or off speed. Off speed means curveball, changeup, could mean a slider, could mean a circle change, could mean a Vulcan change, could mean a knuckleball, could mean a knuckle curve.
But
you
telling me
which one's coming.
Okay, but you have to. I don't know. I want to answer this and just say stop calling. But you're really telling me that there's no effect. Do you feel like there is an effect?
I think there is a minimal care. Justin Verlander publicly tweeted in 2017 that they need to clean up the game and clean up cheating, and now Verlander's a part of it. And clearly, it's not that big of a deal to a guy like Verlander, who's held the game in the highest standard for the last 15 years.
Well, look, I think this hurts the credibility of the game. It does. It hurts the credibility of the game.
I think it hurts the credibility of the game for the common fan who doesn't really dig deep or understand that.
And that's who baseball is trying to market to now, though. That's the difference.
Yeah, but they're trying to market to the kids. They're trying to market to the younger audience. And the younger audience doesn't really care about this.
Well, they did 20 years ago when steroids was an issue in the game.
Yeah, but this isn't steroids. This is one camera on one team focusing on 81 games. But not all of them. You don't have proof of it. No, 81 games at home.
But to play devil's advocate here, you just said that there's other teams that you feel like are doing this to some certain extent. So now
there are or were, but they don't have public proof of this. And you're saying that they're having trouble marketing to the younger audience and that this is affecting them. Well, publicly, with just proof, you only have the Astros nailed down to 81 games roughly. And you don't even have proof of every single game that's happening. You can go back and try and watch footage and break it down as much as you want, but you don't know that for a fact. But you only have proof of the Astros, so it's not completely deteriorating the game. The steroid era, there were players on every single team doing steroids, which you could clearly see the effect of. So this, you can't really measure that and say this is affecting the market at all, because it's not like steroids where the effect was clear and visible with all 30 teams.
George, what do you think?
No, I mean, I agree with Austin, actually. I don't think that this is as big of a problem as people are making it out to be. This is just something that's always happened in baseball, and there's no way to fix it. Like, technology changes each and every day. And if you say, you can't, have cameras in the ballpark, well, there's going to be other ways people can cheat. And no matter what, at the end of the day, I think you just still have to hit a baseball regardless of whatever pitch is going to be coming your way. And I just think that this is kind of all going to blow over within a month or two, and then people are going to start talking about it once again if anything happens. But I don't think any suspensions are going to happen at all. It's going to be a fine. Nothing happened for the Red Sox when they cheated with the Apple Watches. So I just think nothing's going to happen, and this is just all a story right now.
So what, you want to add steroids in the game? Because if you take steroids, you still have to hit the ball.
This is completely different than steroids. You can't measure the effect.
It's still cheating, though. It's still cheating in the game.
That's not how it works. Because if a guy uses pine tar one time in a game, too much of it, or uses on his hat, is that the same thing as using steroids to you? Let's just make everybody use it because one guy did or one team did. Ken Rosenthal just put out an article last night, and he actually thinks that he wrote in the article, the headline is the Astros or the MLB investigation should not stop with the Astros, because Ken Rosenthal knows that every team's doing it.
Well, it is at a wider,
and it's not really cheating.
It is. As soon as you add technology into the effect, it can change the game.
Then don't put the game on TV.
If it changes one at bat.
You're telling me you can sit in the dugout. Each dugout has live feeds from the broadcast. Yes, those are 8 seconds behind, but you can literally, without technology, do the same exact thing. Watch the live broadcast, which has a camera perfectly visible of the catcher's sign. Watch that for 2 innings, and you can pick up on his signs. Then you just got to signal to some random dude in center field who can put up his arms one way or the other that the batter can see, and that will tell him fastball or off speed. There's plenty of ways to do this, and the cameras for the broadcast are just allowing you to do it better. And all the Astros did was just, they didn't even zoom in. Like, you can say they zoomed in on the catcher's signs. I can see from my bedroom on TV the catcher's signs on my 24-inch TV. It's pretty visible to any common fan. Okay, it's an 8-second delay, but what I'm saying is you don't need to zoom in to see anything better. They're not really using any more advanced technology. All it is up to speed. And yeah, it's a quick thing, but as you've seen, it doesn't work on every single at-bat. The Astros aren't beating teams 35-0 because they know a fastball's coming.
No, but it changes in an at-bat, and an at-bat can change a whole series. And you guys know this as baseball fans. One at-bat can change a series. So if the Astros are able to just almost utilize that asset and try to basically, if you have, a 50-50 shot to get a base hit or not, you're going to utilize that. And that's what they're doing. They're utilizing this illegal camera setup, and it's not a Yankee thing. It's not what fan of the team I am for. This is, as a baseball fan, it ruins the credibility of the game, and it's something that the league needs to, it needs to be more of just a slap on the wrist. It needs to be. And I'm very interested to see how the league deals with this, because, I definitely agree with Ken, and I think there are definitely more teams that are doing this, maybe not to the extent the Astros went, but with something else. And now as technology, we get more technology savvy, especially in the game of baseball. How are we going to be able to make sure that there are not teams taking advantage of the technology that they are given or using? So again, to the point, this does have a major effect of a game.
Do you know the Astros 2017 home road splits as a team statistically?
Look, I mean, especially
the Astros were better on the road in 2017. They were 48-33 at home and 53-28 on the road.
48 wins is still pretty good.
But you're not acknowledging that they're just as good, and they were better on the road that year. Statistically, you're not acknowledging that. But if it was that big of an effect, they would be, 40-10 at home or whatever it is? I mean, if it was that big of an effect, then why is their road stats 5 wins better than their home stats?
But still, it has to come into, look, I mean, that's a great point that you make.
I know.
But still, in the postseason, when the Astros were almost using it every single game.
Yuli Gurriel batted higher on the road than he did at home.
That's one player.
Brian McCann batted higher on the road than he did at home. And the other players, it's only 9 games per player, so you can't actually say that the 9 games, because some guy, Jackie Bradley, once rattled off a 20-game hit streak. That was on the road. That was on home, too. It was a mix. But you can't say that the 6 days before the hit streak that a guy goes 0-6 in that home, then goes on the road for 6 days and gets on a 6-game hit streak. Oh, it must be something magical happening at a certain ballpark. Guys are better at home because that's where they're comfortable. You can look at any team from any World Series, except for this past one where for some reason everyone decided to win a road game. You can look at any team, any player from past World Series, and most of those guys are going to have better home numbers because they're comfortable playing at home. They have the crowd behind them. Go look at the 2008 World Series. The Phillies destroyed the Rays. Ryan Howard killed it at home. Chase Utley killed it at home. Go look at the Red Sox at home, where Shane Victorino hit a grand slam. If that game was on the road, Shane Victorino's not hitting a grand slam. There's a reason in that World Series, in that ALCS against Verlander, that it was a 1-0 game where Mike Napoli had the only run. Historically, teams are better at home. They score more runs at home. There are so many factors that go into this. The Astros stats from the 2017 show that this isn't a big effect because teams can score runs if they're good on the road. They can score runs if they're good at home, and it doesn't matter. And the stats show it.
Well, tweet out at the show, at the Alex Fuse Show on Twitter and at Facebook if you think that there should be. First, let's do two of these things because I want to hear from the world, the Fuse Nation out there. Do you feel like that the cameras in the outfield has an advantage of a team? And then also, what if you do think that, what the punishment should be? We'll be back in 2 minutes next on the Alex Fuse Show.